Jai Guru. Good morning. Satsang is for everyone. Like water is for every fish, so is satsang for every human being. In fact, for every being. My topic, I actually prepared with a lot of labor, quite a few slides, and I thought someone would upload them. My first slide, I remember, it shows a little sprout as a representation of being, and a big banyan tree as a representation of the full potential becoming of the same sprout. We all have that. It takes us, a Param Premamay Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, or a Nobel laureate, or Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansadev, Sri Vivekananda, to show that, putting fingers in our eyes, that this is our true potential. We can grow up to this. The topic of the title, when the organizer, Mr. Sanyal, asked me, what should be my title? I told them maybe one of these, and the first one that was kind of agreed upon was Professional Excellence and Spiritual Development. Now, the reason I didn't choose the word career is a bit fuzzy word. In professionalism, what happens? We are somewhat trained in the discipline, in the hard skills of that discipline. Okay? Like someone is an IAS officer, is a professional administrator. So he knows the laws, he knows his positions, the boundaries of his powers, and also application, the fields and situations and cases where his foundation, where his training, his discipline as an IAS can be applied. Now imagine the same person goes home, and what Jyotinda was alluding to. Same person goes home, and the first thing that comes to his mind, that this is not the most comfortable, relaxing place for me. Just imagine, I hope there are very few situations like this, and as few as possible. But if that happens, that an excellent professional goes home, excellent researcher, a professor goes home, and there is hardly any food for him, any smiling face welcoming him. His father, his parents are in old age home. The last time he saw his parents was 3 years ago on a festive occasion, but he did not feel very festive. He didn't feel connected. Again, I'm saying I hope no one goes through this. But if someone does, just imagine. So a person who is highly adept, has a lot of acumen, a lot of hard skills, has passed the highest exams of the state, even internationally, and doesn't feel fulfilled, feels lonely at heart, feels helpless. You know that more than 96% professionals actually feel very insecure. What insecure? First, losing job. Second, the boss will make an unreasonable request to do something. Okay, let me tell you a small story. I was attending a get-together, and there this young guy, very qualified, he told me, Dada, let me tell you a story of Thakur's grace. I said, yeah, go ahead. Said, my boss once called me a few weeks ago, very nervous on the mobile phone. What was the nervousness about? He hit a person very badly. It was a fatal hitting. The person was about to die. And this person was called, with whom I was talking, he was called to take the blame on him. I asked him, what did you do? He said, I don't know how the conversation went, and eventually I didn't have to take the blame. I was a bit kind of, I said, and you without bringing Sri Thakur into it, you couldn't say no to it? I said, no, actually. That time I felt so helpless and so pressured that 90% of my psyche was telling me, say yes. Say yes, I have done the crime. Self-incrimination, one of the weakest psychologies that we human beings have. दूसरा जानवर कोई ऐसा नहीं करेगा. Only human beings can put himself, say yes to a crime, to a psychological pressure. I was visiting Sri Lanka 4 weeks ago, and there's this orphanage in Kandy of elephants. So there was a 3-year baby elephant. Baby elephants are not baby, of course you all know. It was quite a size actually. So it was chained with its hind right leg and left front leg. And later on, this baby elephant, when it will become about 800 pounds or more than that, actually you can tie this baby elephant with a thread and it won't be able to break it. Conditioning is the same. But with that, what I was noticed that human beings that time get depressed. This guy, what he was doing, he had only one task left. The other one was broken. It was capped. So he was given this big a log, wooden log, about ear fat, and he was piercing through it and making small chunks, eatable chunks. He did not forget most of his skills. Human beings forget their entire skills when they are under stress, professionals or whatever. They forget how to swim, even if they knew swim. I lost one of my students actually, was a champion swimmer, got nervous, went into the stream and lost his life. So what is it? Spiritual development. Many professionals think it is old-fashioned actually to go to a satsang. Why do we need in our lives a Babaji? I heard some very well-educated people. Why do you go to such people? Just imagine, you have the highest degree, you forgot how to eat. Just eat. Taking the nibble of the food, bringing it to your mouth, instead of bringing it to your mouth, you are bringing to your ear and feeding there. I saw a Charlie Chaplin movie actually, he was doing that under the influence of drugs. That's exactly what happens when people are not balanced very well. Sri Thakur once said, the greatest pain that a human being can experience is when he has an adjusted relationship with his spouse. And it is true. Those of us who are married here or had a relationship, we know how hard it feels. So what does it involve, the spiritual development? Especially, see, I'm again talking about professionals. Most of youth, you are going to be professionals, either liberally or in a particular trade. You'd like a career path, you'd like a professional path in your life. So you'll be given the hard skills enough. But if you cannot say no under the pressure, your boss is asking you, take the blame. There was a Hindi film I vaguely remember where a lady ends up taking vicious blame on herself. Lack of adjustment, lack of self-confidence. Self-confidence and appreciation of the environment, these are the two things that Sisi Thakur repeatedly emphasized. Because if you have those two, you can easily focus in any given situation. You can filter out what is important versus what is not and see the path clearly. If you can see the path clearly, you'll be content, peaceful with yourself, and your decision will be 100% right. Many people don't believe that their decisions can be right. Their decisions can be right. This is not in a very tyrannical sense. You are right, not in a dictatorial sense, more in a loving sense. You cannot, by harsh discipline and by fear, imbibe a kind of fulfillment. That you can do through love, adjusting love. And if you have a master love, just imagine, if you have, I grew up in a Sisi Thakur family, actually, and literally so. First day I saw my grandfather. My father was actually now, that time, I don't know, I'm talking about 1963, 1964. My father was Pujaniya Bhaswat Chakraborty, longest service secretary of Satsang. He was giving his father a little oil massage before bath. I never had seen my grandfather before that. I was born in Sisi Thakur's ashram, and this was the first time. So I pulled my father aside and asked him, K, who is this guy that you giving, massage? I knew he gives me massage before I go to bath and he bathes me. But this was, so my father started laughing, he didn't know. So one whole day he actually wasted not answering me. And my grandpa took me, I didn't know that time that he was my grandpa. He said, later on, Amar Baba, to Dadu. And I asked, then who is Thakur? Because I knew that Sisi Thakur was my grandfather. I was talking with Sir Roger Kornberg, 2006 Nobel laureate, Stanford Nobel laureate, Stanford University. His father is Sir Arthur Konenberg, also a Nobel laureate. I asked him, how is your family environment? He said, just normal. Most of the time, right now we don't have our grandma, but most of the time, when we are in house, we have to listen to our mother, including my father. We all have to listen to my father. You have to behave normal at home. You have to be adjusted. This geese which fly 16,000 kilometers, 14,000, 10,000 kilometers from Siberia to India, from Siberia to Florida, how do they learn that trick? Just by following their little mother. Once I was driving in Ahmedabad, a few little cubs, fuzzy cubs, very helpless, they were called. a bird, when they grow up, their total weight is 250 grams. Okay? So this cub might have been some 60, 50 to 60, little thing. 6, 7, 8 of them were crossing the road. And here comes the mother, this thin, 250 grams, stands in front of my car as if, I dare you to cross the road while my kids are crossing. This is spiritual development. So the last point I'll make is what Sisitaku said about smart people becoming spiritual, becoming totally adjusted. He touched on 3 points, elaborated on 3 points, taught 3 points. Day in and day out, he actually stipulated those 3 points. First is dhriti, tenacity, determination. Determination to adhere. Even in professional field, without determination, you cannot actually progress very far. Some high IQ people fall behind because of lack of determination. Dhriti, tenacity, determination to adhere to ideal brings a quality in our character which is known as the pacification or proper adjustment of complexes. A person, as soon as his fear complex and insecurity complex is pacified, he starts to become more satisfied and more creative. It is a misconception that very creative people have to be crackpots. भक्त कबीर जी ने भी कहीं पे कहा है, क्रांति लानी है तो शांति से लो. The power of peace, power of contentment, I think India knows about it. India couldn't communicate it very well, but India knows what is the power of peace. So first is dhriti, tenacity. Second is vritti niyantran, which is the proper adjustment of complexes. And third is this is the best education, highest education. Third is actually harmonious living. Even UNESCO has now accepted it. You may be a smart person, very smart, highly qualified person, but if you cannot live harmoniously with others, you haven't gained much. Just imagine the level of irritation. I've seen some highly educated people always irritated. Very high order political leaders. They don't even understand what causes them actually feel so irritated. Irritation is internalization of a lot of garbage, material garbage inside. Matters collide, matters get irritated. Consciousness doesn't, wisdom doesn't. So, with this, again reiterating the importance in professional's life, a proper spiritual development. I rest my speech. I hope there was something useful in it. I'll stand behind here for a minute if there is any question. Is that the protocol?
Yes, sir. We'll be taking up Q&A. The audience में से किसी को भी कोई सवाल पूछना हो तो please सर से पूछ सकते हैं.
Yes. Give him a mic.
Sir, this is widely said. The science is lame without religion, religion is blind without science. Simply her professor contests. How can we explain this to our youth today in the light of
science, the way Western scientists and modern scientists uh, colloquially or ordinarily explain it, that's not science. That's some kind of technology, some kind of thing that will make you even more dependent on a gadget or on a calculating device or something. Science is actually a part of consciousness. Science is a part of consciousness. And consciousness is, like I said, you can have colliding meteorites in the sky, but you don't have colliding skies. So, if you want to talk to youth, very young people, and if you have really a hard-pressed need distinguishing science and religion, you can say, science is understanding the need for good nutrition and putting them in your mouth and digesting it. And religion is actually building the muscles, being strong.